Welcome back, everyone. I'm Eric from Rare Candy, and here today we are back on PTCGO, smashing together two very degenerate cards, Zacian V, Crushing Hammer, see what we can make happen. So we are, I think, at that stage in the format where most of the important combos have already kind of been discovered, but I haven't really messed around too much with Clefable, and I've seen some people experiment with Clefable, Crushing Hammers. I mean, if we just take that, put it with one of the best cards that's in the game right now, seems like a recipe for success. That's what we are going to be experimenting with. This was the same list that was posted for our patrons like I think a week and a half ago or something like that. So they did have early access to this. But before we do get even further in this video, if you guys can, remember, smack that like button, guys. It genuinely really does help get this video seen by more Pokemon TCG fans on YouTube. And if you need any cards to complete this deck or any others, of course, check out our friends at PTCGOstore.com. Use that coupon code RARECANDY at checkout to save yourself some money. And of course, our patrons also have their own exclusive discount code for even bigger savings. But hopping back into the actual deck, guys, this actually does look kind of similar to the Zacian Bayonet deck I posted a couple weeks ago. I actually kind of took like the core of that deck and just kind of repurposed it for this. Took out the Bayonets and some of the other accompanying cards for that deck and replaced them with the Clefable, the Crushing Hammers, and made some other small tweaks to accommodate some of its rougher matchups with this particular list. But the Clefable that we have here, it's not too old, came out back in Rebel Clash, but whenever we evolve into it, we get to put an energy from our opponent's active on top of their deck. So Clefable, pretty annoying card, but especially good against the two manual attachment decks like Dragapult VMAX or Eternatus VMAX, or even kind of Colossal VMAX to an extent as well. Really any deck that needs multiple manual attachments without energy acceleration is really going to be where Clefable is going to shine in particular. So it's going to be good. We also have the 4 Crushing Hammers to just double down on that strategy. If we can ever just remove 2 energies per turn, that's going to be really impactful. We also, of course, have the 4 Scoop Up Nets to be able to reuse Clefables. And since we're playing the Scoop Up Net engine, we may as well play some copies of Jirachi as well. One of the best cards we can use with Scoop Up Net. We also have a copy of Zacian V in the deck to wall against the VMAX Pokemon with the Dauntless Shield ability. Salt Tackle actually has really nice synergy as well if they are a special energy heavy deck, being able to just do a solid little amount of damage while discarding energy in addition to your Clefables. Crushing Hammers can also be good. Our only other attackers can be 1 copy of Hoopa. So Brave Blade, while it's a pretty good attack, you are just like narrowly shy of a knockout on tag team Pokemon. So I really like Hoopa for those matchups because we can do 230 with Brave Blade, and then we can come in with Evil Admonition, do that last like 30, 50, 70 damage, whatever it might be, to clean up those knockouts without having to attack with another 2 prize Pokemon. So Hoopa's really good at helping force those 7 prize games sometimes. We also have 2 copies of Cape of Toughness here to increase our HP. So boosting our Zacian all the way up to 270, really important because that's actually out of one-shot range, even against decks like ADP, as an example, we're 10 damage shy, unless they have something like a Tool Scrapper or like a Zigzagoon or a Vitality Band, something like that. Speaking of tanking, though, we have 2 copies of Coating Metal Energy for fire matchups. So when attached to our metal Pokemon, they have no weakness. Of course, going to be good against those Blacephalon decks, the Centiskorch decks, whatever they might be. But a lot of the other stuff in this list is going to be pretty straightforward. I don't think we need to really go in too much detail over it. But this is going to be the deck that we're going to be trying out, guys. You know, we are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel now, I think, in terms of new ideas for Standard. But let's see, maybe Clefable, Zacian might be a sleeper little idea that we have here. But let's hop in some games and find out. Okay, so our opponent's loading in. It looks like they got a Zamazenta deck box, so it definitely could be some sort of metal deck. Yeah, we would like to go first. So Luke Metal, maybe? Hard to say. So for the moment, we could lead with Clefairy, could lead with Zacian. Leading with Clefairy isn't the worst thing in the world. I'll say sure. Okay, we see a Fion, so that makes me think Decidueye maybe? We'll have to see. For the moment, though, we're just going to, I think, go for the Intrepid Sword. Not too much else. I really want to do this turn without knowing what we're going against. Okay, we do hit energy, so that's good at the very least. And right now our hand looks pretty decent for the next turn. But it just kind of depends, what are we going against? That is the big question that we're still kind of wondering about here. There's Chaotic Swell. Don't really care about that. We don't have a stadium of choice here. And there's going to be a Marnie. So kind of a bummer. Our hand was looking pretty good. I mean, we were going to have to toss away a boss more than likely. But other than that, our hand was pretty A-okay. Well, let's see what we're going up against. Okay, it's going to be Dragapult. So this actually should be one of the matchups that we do want to see. Now, unfortunately, Clefable only does affect the active. So we actually do need to protect this Clefairy for the moment. So we're just going to switch back here. Stellar Wish, Crushing Hammer. Hey, that is good. And we might just have to... Like, I'm actually cool if we get heads just using Intrepid Sword this turn. So let's do that. Okay, fantastic. That is great. And from there, we're just going to go for the Intrepid Sword here. Hey, fantastic. 2 Metal Energy. Don't mind if I do. So now we're actually kind of okay. We just need a switching card for this next turn. And then from there, we're going to be kind of chilling. So Dragapult, yeah, this should be a pretty good matchup. Like any deck really that is reliant on manual, like multiple manual attachments is going to be a matchup that we kind of like to see. Like especially if we can ever go like Hammer and Clefable at once, that's going to be pretty good. There's going to be a Dragapult from our opponent, okay. So yeah, we're just going to promote the Zacian. I'm cool with that. Definitely don't want to give up the Clefairy. Clefable's going to be pretty good. There's going to be Giant Bomb and a Professor's Research. So more than likely, I'm not going to waste my time attacking into this Jirachi. It's probably better just to literally Intrepid Sword and just take our time, to be honest. Discarding the Mighty Report Mewtwo. That's a card I definitely don't mind, you know, hitting the discard. We've not seen any energy from our opponent yet either, so that's the one thing they're still looking for. But if they're quick balling for Dragapult V, I think they probably have energy in hand. Otherwise, they would probably want to go for... Okay, I was going to say they probably otherwise would go for a Crobat or a Dedenne GX. So there's going to be the Dedenne. They must have whiffed their energy. Otherwise, they would have just probably been content chilling with that hand. Hey, getting rid of Tool Scrapper, that's definitely a card I don't mind hitting the discard pile either. Okay, so we do get Quick Ball. That's actually pretty good. So Crushing Hammer before we decide on anything else. Hey, that is absolutely awesome for us. So Quick Ball, probably just go for Crobat, I want to say. Yeah, I think that's fine. Oh man, we prize Zamazenta. This would actually be a good matchup for Zamazenta to come down. Hoopa could be good at some point. Yeah, Hoopa's not doing quite enough to take a knockout though, unfortunately. So I think we'll just go for... Oh, we prize Crobat V as well? Are you kidding? Let's see, we do have our other Clefable. That's good. So let's see. We've also prized a switch, but we do have all of our scoop up nets at the very least. I think we might have to toss this Saucer, which would feel pretty bad, I do have to say. Do we have our Scrapper in deck? Oh, we prized that too. Are you kidding me? I think I'm actually just going to Intrepid Sword again, to be honest, guys. Like, we could maybe Dedenne into a boss, but I think I'm actually cool just taking our time a little bit here. Because we could still retreat even as well, if we do want to, which I don't hate. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, I'm kind of winging it this turn. Every time I thought like I wanted to do something, we see something was prized, which kind of threw us off. So we're just gonna go for the Stellar Wish. Boss could be good. So we'll just grab that for next turn just in case. And I think we'll just go for a Metal Saucer for the moment as well. And we'll just end the turn with an Intrepid Sword. So decent little combination of cards we got. We can put Clefable back into our deck and Dedenne and play boss. So this should be a decent turn for us. Like hopefully we can get down an attachment, boss up wherever they attach to. Okay, there's going to be an energy spare from our opponent. That's good. They're at least able to stream those attachments pretty well this game. Okay, there's going to be the Whirlpool Suction. I'm actually really happy about that because I didn't want to have to find another switching card. So ideally, we're going to go Boss, Clefable, Dead A Change, and be in a decent spot. There's going to be Giant Bomb as well. So there's going to be the Shred, which actually does feel kind of bad them having the bomb here. Okay, so let's think what we want. Do we want to attack into this Dragapult? I mean, at the very least, we evolve into Clefable. I think we do that absolutely no matter what here. And I kind of want to knock out this guy. Like, if we can get 2 prizes without having to deal with... Yeah, I think I actually might do that. So we'll go for the communication. We'll put Jirachi back. Get another Clefairy. So if we can avoid the 100 damage, I definitely would like to. So let's do this. And... like, do we want anything? Maybe Scoop Up Net? I could definitely see that for a Clefable. Okay, we're just going to Metal Saucer. And we get the victory screens. Yeah, we were in a pretty good spot that game. Our Hammer Flips were, you know, popping off. We had the Clefable. I mean, the Giant Bombs could maybe have made a difference, maybe closer to the late game, but we felt like we were in a pretty good spot during that one, I do have to say. All right, so let's see. Our opponent's going to call the coin flip here. Let's see what they might be playing. We do win the flips. That's good. We would like to go first. Now, their deck box sleeve doesn't really tell us too much about what we're going against. Ooh, did any start? That is definitely a little bit rough, but luckily the rest of this hand is pretty decent. So, moment of truth. Let's see what they're going to flip over here. They are going to get down other bench Pokemon as well. Okay, so it's Centiskorch. This should actually be kind of a tricky matchup for us, to be honest. I think of all of the different Zacian variants, whether it's like the Bayonet version we posted already, Luke Metal, ADP, I think this is probably the weakest against fire. Just do that, and then from there go for the Intrepid Sword. The Heat Fire, okay, that's definitely a little bit annoying, but just, okay, just the 20. That's pretty good. So we have Crushing Hammer, Tails, another Crushing Hammer, Heads, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. So if they have a slow start, we can actually maybe run away with a quick game. That would definitely be great for us. Let's see. Okay. So we can work with this, So we definitely just quick ball, toss away the Metal Energy. I think we're going to go for the... Ooh, we did... Oh, we started Dedenne, so we actually can't Crobat. I was like... we started Dedenne, and I was like, man, where's our Dedenne GX? But yeah, we are not going to have that option at our disposal, unfortunately. So let's just go for the Crobat here. Probably just do... Yeah, I think we're just going to go all in, guys. I'm going to toss away this Marnie. We have a lot of supporters we've discarded already, but... I think it's kind of what we're going to have to do here to have a shot. We really need to just take some quick knockouts before they can get set up. Okay, and we hit the switch as well. So the hammers wound up like not really mattering here, but that being said, we still got a KO. So going to go for the Brave Blade. Take out the Centiskorch V. Now, hopefully our opponent's hand wasn't like super good and they were just waiting to evolve to really pop off, but yeah, right now we're doing okay. So we have the Coating Metal for next turn if they are still kind of in a rut here. But if they have the VMAX plus the Welder and all that stuff, we're going to be in a scary spot. There's going to be the Heat Fire. Okay, and just the pass over to us. That is fantastic. So we're just going to... yeah, just do the Clefable here. That seems right. So we're going to put that back on top of their deck. We're going to get down the Coating Metal, probably on Zamazenta. Right? Or we could leave it on the active and just Intrepid Sword. And we just get the victory screen. So our opponent's like, you know what? Our hand's pretty dead anyway, so let's just scoop it up going to the next one. So yeah, we managed to have a pretty aggressive start there. We were in a good spot. Having the Coating Metal for that turn, wasn't really sure where I was going to put it just yet, but you know, I definitely think we were in a good spot to, you know, lead that game into the finish, maybe winning it. All right, so our opponent has a Zacian V deck box, so we'll have to see if it is in fact going to be Zacian V, but I mean, there's a good chance of it. One of the best decks. I mean, they have the Zacian sleeves as well. So we are going to get to go first. Our hand is pretty bad, so we definitely need something good off of this Intrepid Sword for sure here. Okay, so we have communication, so we can actually go for like a Dedenne or something, but also I don't think there's a whole lot we really need. Like, I might save this for Dedenne, but I want to see what we get off of this Intrepid Sword. So I think we'll just do this. I'll save the Cape of Toughness, I guess, as well, because we don't know what we're going against just yet. And I mean, but if it's a fire deck, they could potentially one-shot us turn one, depending on what they have. We're just gonna risk it. We're just gonna go for the blind Intrepid Sword here. Okay, so pretty good little selection of cards that we got. We got Hammer, we got Clefairy, so we can communicate this Clefable back in, save that for later. We got another Zacian. So there's gonna be Eternatus. Okay, so this actually should be a great matchup for us. Eternatus is one of these decks that is reliant on multiple manual attachments at a given point. So if we can find our Zamazenta V, that would also be really big for us. There's going to be a Pokemon Communication as well. Probably just going to see a Crobat V come down, I would imagine, to refill their hand size. Reset stamp, turn one, okay. I mean, we didn't have a supporter, so that's like the one good thing about the reset stamp, but we had some cards that we liked. Alrighty, so we can make this hand work. It's gonna feel bad having to toss a Metal Saucer, but at the very least we do have a energy we can get down as an attachment. Okay, so one thing I'm looking for so far is gonna be, are they playing Slowbro? Are they playing Toxicroak? Because that actually could be a pretty big annoyance for us. So I think we probably, I really don't want to Marnie them, but I don't want to discard this whole hand. I feel like we might have to though, as unfortunate as that is. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to be able to just get a knockout here. Or we could just like try to wall behind a Zamazenta. So let me toss away Marnie before we do anything else. So we do have our Zamazenta in deck, so that's an option. But there is a world if we have a slow start, they can just power up an Eternatus V here to be able to hit us for 120 or something. Yeah, I really don't want to give them a chance to. I'd rather just kind of put on some pressure right now and force them to evolve and do all that sort of shenanigans. Maybe Hoopa could be a good attacker. Nah, not yet, at least. So I'm just going to go for a Jirachi here, I think, for the moment. They have a 2-card hand, so I don't want to refresh their hand size for them. I'm just going to go for the research again. Feels bad getting rid of the saucer, but it is what it is. Man, I really don't... Like, I want to retreat this guy, but... So we're going to communicate. We're going to put probably Jirachi back in deck. I'm going to grab a Clefairy. And we do have all of our hammers as well. That's an important thing to note. So as bad as it is, like, I think we're actually just going to hard retreat, which feels awful, but... Okay, that's good. Then probably just Intrepid Sword, I would imagine. And we could play the Saucers, but I'm going to save them in case they have a boss or anything like that. So short, we'll just do this, and we'll go for the Intrepid Sword. Okay, so actually pretty good 3 cards that we drew here. We have a Hammer, that's good. Today and Crobat are both fine to refill our hand size as well, but kind of an awkward start getting going. Another reset stamp, are you kidding me? Again, we did not have a draw supporter, so at the very least, the reset stamp can maybe help us find something that way. Oh, yikes, that is not a good hand at all. Now, if we can maybe just... Man, this feels bad. This is a bad hand that we have, I do have to say. There's going to be Crobat from our opponent there. Do they have the energy? I really do want to save this Jirachi now that we don't have a way to draw cards. There's going to be a Great Ball. So hopefully we can just have them whiff for 1 turn. They've been pretty good at disrupting our hand this whole time. Spiritomb. Okay, so Spiritomb is also going to be something that is a little bit of a pain for us. That's one of the few things that can deal with our Zamazenta. There's the boss's orders. Do they have the energy? There's the Zigzagoon. Okay. That's going to get us down to 180. There's a switch. And just a power accelerator. So they did whiff, which is pretty good. Now, unfortunately, we're in a spot where we'll go for the Crushing Hammer. Yikes. Probably get down the cape over here, I would imagine. Do we just let this guy go down? Like, we could scoop up net, go for Dead Change, all that good stuff. And like, if we scoop up net, we could definitely Dead Change. Just what do we do though? Let's see. Haven't gone through any switching cards, so we probably can afford to do that. So I think, yeah, we'll just scoop up net. Maybe even probably the Jirachi, to be honest, guys, because if we get Clefable and they're drawing dead, I don't mind them putting this back on top of their deck, to be honest. So we'll go for the communication here. We'll get our cape down on this homie over here as well. Saucer, do this, and did a change. So we could get a knockout. And actually it doesn't feel too bad, I do have to say. We could even boss this guy, get the first hit in there. But they're drawing pretty dead. They did not have energy to attack. So I think we're actually good to just take this KO. So yeah, we're just going to switch over here. We can save the boss for next turn. And we have 270 HP, so they do need energy and a full bench. So we're taking a Pokemon away, and they already didn't have energy to attack. So not a horrible 2 cards. Okay, there's the energy, unfortunately. There's going to be a Building Spite. Now, if the last card in their hand was supported, that would definitely feel bad. And just going for the Dread End, so that's actually pretty big. So Crushing Hammer. Oh man, Hammer's not doing too good over here. So do we try to just wall them with with Zamazenta? Is that like what we go for at this point? There is a world where maybe we even just try to like knock out something on the bench with boss this turn, which I don't hate either. So I think actually we might do that. Just get another 2 prizes. And maybe we can actually just win by... I think we can probably win at this point by just avoiding Eternatus altogether. So I was really worried about using Zamazenta, but at this point it turns out like we really didn't even need to do so. I will still get down Clefairy. That is going to be a good card to use no matter what. And like we could Quick Ball for a Crobat. What else do we want? Probably Crushing Hammer actually. So I'm actually okay if that happens. So let's just toss this. Go for Crobat. Do we have any Quick Balls or any... Oh, we're actually out of search cards entirely. So that is another thing to note. So finding the exact Pokemon we want might be a little bit tricky on future turns. We'll see though. So sure, we'll just go for the Brave Blade probably. I'll say sure we get down Jirachi as well. And from there, just go for the Brave Blade. And like I said, if we just get one more boss off this game, we can just win and avoid Eternatus altogether. Like, our hammers have not been treating us well at all this game. But even without that, we've still been able to keep up pretty well. We have not used Zamazenta either. It's been kind of an awkward turn to find the right time to go in with that, especially since they're playing Spiritomb, which is a pretty heavy hitter for just a single prize Pokemon. There's going to be the Dread End. That's fine. We can afford to give up a couple prizes since we are pretty far ahead at this point. So I'll promote the Jirachi since we do have the Scoop Up Nets, the Switches, all that good stuff. We do need another Metal Saucer. We have 1 left. So if we do anything else, we'll go for a Southern Wish here. Probably just go for a Scoop Up Net, to be honest, guys. Sure, we'll just get down Clefable here. I guess put down the Hide Dark Energy. That's probably best. We'll pick this little homie up. Promote the Clefable because we're going to use Skip Up Net on this guy as well. Oh, we were supposed to put the Jirachi back down. Oh my god, guys. That was definitely a misclick. Got a little bit carried ahead of myself there. Alright, I mean, we can still make this work. Definitely got a little bit ahead of myself in my clicks there. So I think there's a world where maybe we even go for Zamazenta and just hide behind that for the turn. How many switching cards have we used? 2. So these are only switching cards left for the rest of the game. So switch into Jirachi. Stutter Wish. Okay, there's Boss. So I think we just do that. We have a higher shot of actually hitting Boss than Metal Saucer off of this Intrepid Sword. So we need to probably just grab this then, if that's the case. And so I think this is what we do. We just spread our energy around a little bit just in case. So ideally, we want to just win on this next turn, ideally. And we'll just go for the Intrepid Sword here. And we do hit the boss. So that's why I wanted to go for the Saucer, because we need both cards, but we had a better shot of hitting the boss off of the Intrepid Sword rather than the Metal Saucer. So as long as we don't get our hand reset, it's just going to be game. So there's going to be the Building Spite. Because now we're at a point where even if they have the boss to knock out one of these guys, we do have the means of powering up the opposite one to still get the KO. We just have to avoid a Marnie. That's the big thing that we're kind of scared of right now. We do have 2 hammers left, so if we do get Marnie, that is something that could buy us some time. But we'll see. And there's the Dread guys, so we have the game in hand. Even despite my minor misclick in that game, we still managed to get there. So we'll just do this. We'll evolve into Clefable as well, just to add some insult to injury, I suppose. So we'll do that. Saucer. Attach. Switch. And we'll just go for the boss. Pick off Crobat, and that is going to be the game, guys. So we'll just go for the Brave Blade. And despite, not doing too well with our hammers and all that stuff, we still managed to pull it off there. Didn't even need our Zamazenta. I thought we would, but just a couple of Brave Blades, picking up those cheap prizes really just kind of kept us a little too far ahead there. Alrighty guys, so that's going to wrap up the look here at the Zacian Clefable energy denial deck. I mean, it's honestly kind of hard to gauge sometimes how good an idea is, just because I feel like if your deck just has 3 to 4 Zacian with 4 Metal Saucer, you're going to win some percentage of your games just by default with that engine. But the Clefable does feel nice sometimes. There's definitely matchups where it's especially good. Think of Eternatus, think of Dragapult, as you guys kind of saw in this video even. So that still might have some potential as well. But either way, it's still a Zacian deck. You're going to get some wins just by default with this thing to some degree. But that's going to wrap up the deck, guys. Like I said, this was available very early on to our patrons at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. So be sure to check us out over there. But with that being said, smack that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And if you can support this channel, be sure to check us out on Patreon like I already mentioned. Or if you can, pick up some merch from our online store at rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.